So, what is the offense going to look like with Aaron Rodgers? Uh, there's been tons of speculation out there on what Rodgers wants to do, what he still can do, what his preference is. First off, Arthur Smith is a very proud individual. He's a very proud man. We saw it last year, the game against the Bengals. Russell Wilson goes off, throws for over 400 yards. They win the game because they're throwing the football. The Bengals literally can't stop them. Reports come out later. Arthur Smith was furious. Russell Wilson changing plays, and he's like, "Look, you're not going to be doing that in my offense." Okay. Well, Russell Wilson kind of had the personality of, okay, fine, whatever, and go along, whatever. Aaron Rodgers is not going to do that. If Aaron Rodgers is out there and a team can be exploited, Aaron Rodgers is going to exploit it. And he's going to keep doing it until they make an adjustment to stop it, which is kind of what Russell Wilson did. And if Arthur Smith comes to him and says, "Hey, man, this is my offense. You're going to do it my way," Aaron Rodgers is going to say, "I don't care whose offense it is. If there's an opportunity to exploit a defense, I'm going to do it. Period. End of story." And that's the way the conversation is going to go. So Arthur Smith still wants to run the football. It's still going to have that kind of an identity. But Arthur Smith is also going to have to do things the way and put some stuff in so Aaron Rodgers can be comfortable. And what I mean by that is some of the plays, some of the concepts are going to have to be what Aaron Rodgers does well. Now that's part of coaching, people. You can have your offense, you can have your philosophy, but if you have a piece of something here and you're trying to mold it together, and this piece happens to be over here, doesn't necessarily fit with this, you've got to find, and you have to use this piece. You got to find a way to blend it all together and make it work. Now, I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers can't do what Arthur Smith is trying to do. That's not what I'm saying here. That's not my point. What I'm saying is that Arthur Smith needs to take advantage of the things that Aaron Rodgers does well and utilize them. That is literally coaching 101. That you have to be able to do that. You can't just, it's my way or the highway. Okay, you can do that, but usually there's bumps in the road and it doesn't work out the way that we want it to work out, or anybody wants it to work out. Aaron Rodgers does things well, certain things well. Utilize that. Why wouldn't you? You'd be dumb not to do that. You know, play action. That's going to help Rodgers. Running the football is going to help Rodgers. So it's not that we want we bring Aaron Rodgers in here and we're going to throw the ball 50 times a game. We don't need to do that. We don't want to have to do that. I would say if we're throwing the ball 45 times in a football game, we're way behind and we're playing catch up, and it's a problem. So that's not what the Steelers want to do. We don't even need to do that. So complementary football is what the Pittsburgh Steelers need to play with Aaron Rodgers. So the thing is, there's certain fans, and I want to make sure that I'm clear on this. Aaron Rodgers is not going to come to Pittsburgh and be the savior of this offense or this football team. That is not what we want him to be. Number one, I'm not sure he's capable of doing that anymore. And number two, we don't want him to be the savior. We don't need him to be the savior. We just need to give us an opportunity, have just be another weapon in what the Steelers are trying to do offensively. We'll talk about that a little bit more, a little bit later. But he's not the savior. And I think a lot of people just want to believe, okay, he's here, 12 wins automatically. I mean, I'm not saying we can't get to that, but I wouldn't just pencil in 12 wins with Aaron just because Aaron Rodgers is on the team. I think he helps. I think we're a better team today than what we were yesterday with him on it. But he's not the savior, and that's okay. It really is, people. It's okay that he's not the savior. We shouldn't even look at it that way. The offensive line is still going to be the key. Number one, you got an older quarterback. Now, I think Rodgers is going to move around the pocket and around the field a little better than what he did early last year. Like I said, coming off an Achilles injury last season, early on, he didn't look like he could move at all. He got better as the season went on. He got better. His offensive line wasn't spectacular. They were okay. They were average. But he moved around okay. But I think he's going to move around a little bit better. But play action is really going to help him. So the offensive line is going to be key. That run game is going to be key. If we can have a run game and throw Aaron Rodgers on top of that, look out. Look out. I'm not saying it's going to be the greatest show on turf or anything crazy like that, but the Steelers could have a good offense. If the offensive line gels and pops the way a lot of people, including myself, think that it will, well, then we got a run game, and then we got play action, and we got Aaron Rodgers doing the play action. That's a good thing, people. That's a good thing. So, Jaylen Warren, Caleb Johnson, they could be in for some really big numbers this year. But again, it's dependent on the offensive line. I'll always put it on them. Offensive line, the middle of the field. Look, I've talked to you guys at nauseum about the middle of the field. And again, going back through the all 22s, and I'm doing the game films right now, Steelers had guys running all over the place, wide open in the middle of the field, people. Just Fryermuth running open, Michael Pruitt running wide open, Darnell Washington, especially Calvin Austin running open. Just guys are open on the middle of the field. But Mike Tomlin's got to stop. He put his thumbprint down. Hell, he came out and said he didn't want use in the middle of the field. But I do believe that there's a reason that he did that, is because he didn't trust the guys that was utilizing the middle of the field. He didn't trust Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson never used it anyway. I mean, in his whole career, that wasn't his thing. He didn't trust Justin Fields to use it. He's going to have to trust Aaron Rodgers. And not only that, Aaron Rodgers is going to do it anyway. Because somebody's running over the middle of the field and they're open, he's going to throw him the football. He's going to utilize the entire the entire football field, and the middle of that especially, because when he really wants to go deep down the sidelines or outside the numbers, if you haven't thrown the ball over the middle of the field, they're just not going to honor you. They did that with the Steelers last year. They did that. So it's going to be key that we continue to do that. Fryermuth, Washington, yeah, DK over the middle. I love the fact that we got a quarterback that's going to be able to utilize that and is going to utilize it. Speaking of DK, look, he needs to be that guy. We traded George Pickens, and I've said it all along. I think DK is a better wide receiver than George Pickens. But make no mistake about it, George Pickens was that guy. Now, the on-field, off the field, the effort, some of the antics, the locker room, all that kind of stuff, put all that aside. And I'm not saying not to count it, but just set that to the side and just talk about the talent. I'll never not say this until it isn't true. George Pickens is a top 10 talent as far as wide receiver in the National Football League, and he might be top 5. That's how talented of a guy he actually is. Now, is DK that talented? No. But is DK a better overall receiver? Yes. And he needs to be that. And the numbers need to say that. Now, he can only do so much, as far as throwing the ball, catching the ball, that kind of stuff. That's something different. But at the same time, a lot of people talked about, well, if they double team George Pickens, how are they supposed to throw him the ball? Again, I'm going back through all these all 22s. They didn't double team George Pickens that often. There was some bracket coverage from time to time, but it wasn't like teams just, okay, we're going to take George Pickens away and bracket him. They didn't do that. It was more of, yeah, we'll play press man to man, and we know that they only run two routes with George Pickens, a go route and a comeback. They rarely run, deep crossers, shallow crosses, dig right. They don't run that kind of stuff with him. They're going to need to utilize DK and do all that because he can do all of that. His route tree is bigger than George's, and they need to utilize that. He's got to have bigger numbers. Look, 66 catches. What was it? 992 yards, 5 touchdowns last year. That's fine. But for a guy making $33 million, I need more. I need more. And, You make over 30 million bucks. I need 1,100 yards. Period. End of story. I need 1,100 yards. So however you get there, that's how you get there. I need 1,100 yards and I need a minimum of 7 touchdowns. Now I know it's not all on him, but some of it is, and we need to get there. We need to get there. I just he can't have the I just got paid slump. And y'all know my philosophy on that. Guys in contract years ball out. The year after they get paid, they take a nap. We can't have that out of you, DK. Can't take a nap, brother. You can't take a nap. We need you this year. We need you. Let's go to the poll question. Mm-mm-mm. So, poll number 2. What do you believe is the most crucial factor for the Steelers' offensive success this season? Is it A, a strong performance from Aaron Rodgers? B, the offensive line providing solid protection? C, increased utilization of tight ends? Or D, connection of Rodgers and DK Metcalf? Make sure that you put a number 2 in front of the number that or in front of the letter, so we know exactly what poll question that you are answering. I like that one, ladies and gentlemen. I like it. Lot of intrigue. I'll be interested to see what you guys say. We're at the halftime, people. So first off, I want everybody for tuning in. Thank subscribers. Want to thank all the members for supporting Steelers Almighty, man. I absolutely appreciate it. Our season schedule, you guys know what it is. We're live Monday, Tuesday with the big show, Thursday morning, and then we have our podcast on Wednesday. That'll change as the season gets going. So as we get closer to the season, I'll update you on our weekly schedule. Supers, are just one way that you guys can help support the channel. You guys do an outstanding job at that. But again, it's only one way. Make sure that you continue to keep commenting. We love the back and forth. So hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, but always get in the comment section and tell us exactly what you think, whether you like, don't like about it. Members, look, we got the new Facebook member group for the All 22s, ladies and gentlemen. You sign up on the 4th tier, the All Pro level, to be able to watch, to join that group, number one, be able to watch the breakdowns of the All 22. So if you saw some of that this past season, the All 22 that we broke down, we do an entire game on that new Facebook group. So you got to be at level 4 tier or higher to be a part of that. So we appreciate that. For the audio listeners, make sure the link is in the description to join and become a member. So we appreciate that. And last but not least, people, the merch is here. You all have been asking me for it, and it is now available. There's a link that's going to be in the comments section, but if you don't have that link, it's very, very easy. It's just SteelersAlmightyShop.com. It's just that simple. SteelersAlmightyShop.com. Make sure you go there. You'll find all your merchandise. Right now, we got the alcoholic shirts out there. We do have a Steelers Almighty shirt that's also available. So we've got that. Other things are coming. I know a couple of you made some comments like, hey, man, I got some kids. I can't just have these shirts with Thunderbird and Thunderbird Advisory. There's other shirts that, number one, there's another Steelers Almighty shirt there, and the other stuff is coming on the way. But we wanted to get this out to you as soon as possible. So we appreciate you guys, man. Thank you for all your support. Let's get back to it.